everyone, I am Tacet, and welcome to the Gems of War Invasions, Week 28, Day 1. So, today, of course, we got ourselves the Merfolk invasions. This is going to be somewhat easier just because a lot of Merlantis has 20% this week. Or, 10% for Merlantis, and 10% is for Merfolk. And most of the Merfolk is in the Merlantis, so a lot of the things we'd be using for this game mode, and by a lot of the things, I mean pretty much almost everything, except for maybe like a few that are outside the kingdom, will have 20% bonus, and that does include the Tidecaller hero class, which also is available for further leveling this Thursday, if you don't want to do it manually, and you actually want to buy it up, which I generally don't advise, but is an option to do so. But, yeah, gonna be a pretty easy event week, I would say. The event trip itself isn't really that special, but with 20% extra bonus, that definitely makes a huge difference. But anyways, hello everyone. Hello Zeddicus. Yes, happy Reset Monday. Hello Mobarashi. And hey, we actually got the event video up at time. Haha. Hopefully I should be able to for now on. I have the other two videos already pre-recorded. They've actually already been pre-recorded for a while. I just don't have them up yet, but they will be. I'll probably post them sometime tomorrow. Also, tomorrow, we're going to be doing a long stream tomorrow, or at least a few hours, because I'm going to go do Pure Faction tomorrow, as well as the following Tuesday, so that's going to burn through a lot of gems, so we need to get it done, so we can get that 1+1 magic immediately. Oh yeah, the stream was initially unlisted. I would have actually been up a little bit earlier, but even realize that. YouTube does that sometimes, for whatever reason. Whenever, for whatever reason, it defaults the stream to unlisted rather than public. I have not the slightest clue what ends up triggering that, but it does happen on occasion. Hello, Humberto. Luckily, I didn't actually start yet. What's more annoying is if I don't notice it prior to starting the stream, because then I'm like talking to no one until I notice, and then I need to change the setting, and then it starts showing it to people. It's weird. Hello, Humberto. Hello, Jefferson. Hello, Cookie. Hello, Steve. Hello, Tyranny. Hello, Birdleaf. And hello, Robert. And hello, everyone else. Welcome, welcome. Well, have you been having a good week so far? So, let's get into things. Let's start with Evasion, of course. It is an Evasion week. We ended up showing some teams earlier. There's two basic teams you can end up running. There's, or both of them are pretty much the same variants. They're both a version of Skull Spam with the Nerida, Nimue, Earth's Fury, and Skyla. Or you have the option of, if you don't have Earth's Fury, the gosh, I can't talk. Nerida, Mang, Nimue, and Skyla, which just basically shifts to 2 and puts a Mang there instead. Essentially, you just shift those 2 and then put it in as a Mang rather than an Earth's Fury if you don't have Earth's Fury. And Tidecaller does have 20% bonus stats, as I mentioned, which will help out quite a bit. And yeah, that's pretty much all we have to do for this event. Should be pretty straightforward. Nothing too out of the normal as far as an Evasion event is concerned. And Bounty Hunter this Friday, we're going to be getting a pretty useful bounty troop too. It's going to be a turtle. Pretty useful turtle at that. It's basically going to be a turtle that's like Apothecary. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. It's not going to be as good as an Apothecary. However, it's basically an Apothecary option that can be used within the context of Delves. I mean, Delves. Of Bounty Hunter. So it's going to be pretty good in that regard. So, we do have Skull Alignment, so let me go for that. Get a bunch of Skull Pokes. Oh, also I'm set to Magic right now. I should probably change that. I don't think we actually need it set to Magic. But for now, I'll take Skull. And this thing does 5 times damage to towers, so we'll easily be able to take out those. We can actually still one-shot with Mang, or with Earth's Fury, I mean. Same difference. And I can't Skyla instant kill. Skyla is not here into instant kill, obviously, because it can't actually instant kill them because they have immune to it. However, she's there for the Skull Storm. Oh, also, apparently we got a bird. But let me go and change one thing, though. Let's go change to attack. I'm not sure if we necessarily need it because of Earth's Fury. But at least initially at these lower levels, we're probably not actually going to need the Earth's Fury cast. So we might as well shift it out for a little bit of attack just to press it a little bit quicker. I know, my gold is excessively low. This is the lowest I've had it in a very, very long time. And of course, it went down even lower today because I had to use it for guild tasks, of course, to go donate to the guild. I think we're at, like, what, 4.5 million? Are we even at 4.5 million? Did it dip even lower than that? Yeah, 3.5 million, not even 4.5 million. But yeah, we'll be getting that grinded quite a bit on a Vault event weekends. This will be one of the first few Vault event weekends that I'll be able to grind it out pretty heavily. Vault event starts on the 31st, and luckily I don't need to do anything on the 31st or the entirety of that weekend. So we're probably going to grind it out pretty heavily since we haven't been able to 2 of the last 3 times. So definitely get a good chunk of it in then. But anyways, let's go back to the invasions. Keep going through until we use every single battle. Then do out a code, and then mess with the other few things we need to go do. And then it's probably going to be Salty stream time. She'll probably also announce today when the patch is coming. Unless it's literally coming out as we're speaking right now. Who knows? It could happen tonight. Though it's more likely to happen tomorrow night. It's almost guaranteed happening this week. Hasn't been confirmed yet. But it might be in about an hour or two from now. Though you won't know until tomorrow's stream. Unless you catch hers. Not sure what she's actually going over today. Because they never go over bounty hunter troops. So I'm not sure exactly what they're going over. And they already went over next patch, which was almost nothing. But they still went over it. So I'm not sure what they're going to go over today. Maybe they'll just mess around with random teams. Because what are we getting next week? Next week we're getting... are we even getting anything next week other than the Vault event? Huh. I'm curious what they'll actually do then. But good chance we get patch, if nothing else, this week. Also, we have Lunar New Year's, which makes it even more seemingly like they'll end up doing it. Because one of the new features of next patch is extra rewards for various holidays. And make it a lot of sense that the first one that they would do that for is the Lunar New Year. Since they couldn't get it in time for New Year's, might as well get it done for the other New Year's. Let's see. And I actually do have some videos that are 2019 related that I might actually want to do in the next few days. Just because theoretically, Lunar New Year hasn't happened yet. So still time. Because there were a few things I wanted to cover in that regard. I never had time to prior to the actual New Year's. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Dotero. Hello, Zakid. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All of you have been doing well. Okay, can we get a good Earth's Fury here? Not really. Is it even worth going for yet? Probably not. I always find it really weird how in invasions, when you have 2 and 3 battles, particularly when you have the ones where you have 1 up front and 3 towers in the back, it's actually harder to kill than when there's 4 towers, at least at the lower end. And that's mostly because this troop does 5 times damage, or up to 5 times damage, to the towers, whereas it's only doing 1 times damage to the normal troops, which is substantially lower, to the point that these are actually harder to kill, oddly enough. Oh, I should use Skyla there. Oh, it's still not too late. Also, unfortunately, we do not get to utilize Skyla's Silence. Of course, they do have Indestructible to towers, so that stats effect we will not actually be able to use. Obviously, she's just there for the skull spam. Because the other aspect will not work. I'm going to take a purple here and try pushing up Skyla. Oh, that's 1 mana short. That's unfortunate. Hey, duh, you could just one-shot one of them. So you could do that. And then dead. There we go. Yep, it is the year of the rat, which is why we're getting a rat pet in 2 days. It's fully cosmetic, though. Yep, year of the rat. I believe this year was the year of the boar or pig, whatever it was. And then next year's rat. I forget what I am on Zodiac. I believe I'm a dog on Zodiac, I'm pretty sure. It was whatever 2 years ago was. I believe that was dog. Let's see, we'll throw that down. Grab a pokety poke. And then 2 more sets of 5, and then we can finally get into the 4 tower area. The only problem with that is we start seeing Valraven towers, which are sometimes more annoying to kill than the Valravens themselves. I'm just gonna poke. I deliberately did that on the one that has skull reduction, just in case. You never know. I take the other skull, take the other skull, and now 1 more skull will do it. Unfortunately, there's no way to do it, so let's take that for now. Oh, why did I take yellow away? That was a really weird move. I should have kept that there because then I could have scored out of it. Let's see. There we go. Mayonnaise in. Every time you want to stop or quit for a while, it won't let you. Ta. Yeah, that's the only problem with some free-to-play games. It can get quite addicting. I'll take that for now. I don't feel like I have the problem with most free-to-play games like that, though. Like, I've quit RuneScape so many times. And quite a few other, like, similar related games I have, too. But yeah, Gems of War never did quit. But I've also been making content for the game for, like, the last almost 4 years. So that's kind of one of the reasons why. If it wasn't for that, there probably would have been weeks or months where I might have gone away from the game for a little bit. There's definitely been months that I've played it a lot less than other months, that's for sure. But there's never been any point where I've actually quit Gems of War. Yeah, I'll throw that down for now. Oh, I forgot. It actually has a 4 life steal. It's an aspect of Nimue that I almost never think about. Similar to how an Iron Gut steals 4 life whenever it takes brown. Nimue actually has the same mechanic, which is almost goes like completely unnoticed. But she steals 4 life whenever you take green. Which is just a really absurdly weird trait for her to specifically have. Because at least Iron Gut gets to utilize it and tends to be built around brown. Where she does not really tend to get built around green mana accumulation. Yeah, that's a thing on her. Find it strange. I guess they did that because hero class can gain enchant on green. So they kind of did it for that kind of synergy. Still seems rather weird and out of place. What's our other convert again? Red to purple. Do we have alignment on that? No. Is it still worth casting? Probably not. Let me just throw a poke down. How about now? Nope. Now? Nope. Now? Come on, all we need is one skill poke. Give it to us. And there we go. Hello, Haley! Welcome. Yeah, Gems of War is a pretty fun game. And they've definitely been updating it a lot, that's for sure. Let's see, we'll take that down. But I believe Gems of War is the only game I've ever played where they've essentially added new content every single week. They used to do it bi-weekly when the game first started. However, they started doing it weekly as early as I believe about a year into the game cycle. Even a little bit earlier than that. I forget the exact point in which they started to do it on a weekly basis. But it was pretty early in the game cycle. Yeah, Gems of War's dailies tend to not really take too bad. They have gotten slightly higher over time. But assuming you don't do delves, the amount of daily can be done in like 20 minutes normally. And the only other thing you would have on top of that is guild-related dailies, which can sometimes take more time, like for example the invasions we're doing right now. However, you can generally concentrate it on certain days rather than having to spread it on each day. So if you have a little bit more time on one day, you can just do it all on that day rather than spreading it out. And delves. Delves, depending on how you go about it, can take as long as like 30 minutes. The quicker methods can take as little as about 15 or so. Okay, we do have Nimue alignment, so let me go for that. There we go. I still don't understand why your thing isn't linked to purple, though. It would make so much more sense, especially since he creates purple. I don't know, Gems of War is the kind of game I do tend to play in sessions, though. Friday and Saturday streams we do tend to play a little bit longer. But, I do tend to play Gems of War more like a session-based game. Oh, let's see, we'll take that over. Wish I could take a vertical there. have so many skull chances if we do. But we have so many enchants that we might as well just waste our turn. And then just go into a poke. Actually, let me take skull first. We'll poke his back, we'll poke him back, and then we kill him with one shot. And we're about to get the orb. Also, one nice thing about invasions, you get like 70 or 80 something gems just for progressing through the entire thing. The previous set just gave us 20 gems. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, invasion actually has the highest payout for doing the free battles. Except for Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter technically has the overall highest payout. But it's supposed to. But of any of the guild-related events, the highest payout for spending nothing towards the event is actually invasions, oddly enough. Okay, let's get rid of one of these enchant towers. We do not have Dispel, but we can go for that. Oh, I should have done that on the one that had Barrier. Whoops, mistakes were made. Because it wouldn't have died anyways, whichever way we did it, and that would have gotten rid of Barrier. So we could have poke-killed it right there. Oh, wait, we still got it? Oh, I must have taken a green. Aha! Hey, taking a green for once actually was beneficial. We took a green, which made it so, or it wasn't the green. I think it was actually our explosion. Our explosion and the break in its barrier. But green would also do it. So the 4 HP steel can break barrier off of Nimue. It's one of the few good things that actually can do if we do randomly get it. Because it does break barrier with it. But that wasn't what ended up doing it. It was the explosion off extra turn. The Tidecaller hero class on its final trait. I almost keep forgetting about it because it's on its traits, not its perks. Every other hero class has it on perk, but this one has it on trait. But it explodes a blue gem whenever it matches a extra turn. Which is what ended up removing barrier for that kill. Luckily. Because we took a 4-time skull into it. Is that aligned? No. However, do we have follow-up? Yes, so we might as well do it. Oh, never mind, we do have alignment. Well, it wasn't extra turn alignment, but it was a skull, so I'll take it. Good. Hello, Stradium Cats. Hello, Zex. Hello, Defiance. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What type of keys do you have to use to get the Winter Imp? Glory Gem, Guild, or VIP chests? It's in the same things that Mythics would be in. And right now, the Mythic drop table is any Mythic in the game, if you are going to be opening for that. But yeah, you still have some time to get Winter Imp. You have about 1 more week. He'll be out of drop table probably the first Mythic of next month. Sometimes they do it a little bit earlier than that. Keep in mind that it could be as early as February 1st when the drop table changes to Imp of Love. But yeah, if anyone's still interested in Winter Imp, I probably should have mentioned that in the event video. But yeah, this week's pretty much the last week to get it unless you want to have to craft it in Soulforge or wait an entire year. However, you can just get it in Soulforge too, so that's the easiest way generally of going about it. Because even though they're seasonal and only available for 2 months, for whatever reason, they're always craftable in Soulforge. I'm not sure why they're actually in Soulforge. I guess this to make them not too annoying to obtain, but it kind of defeats the whole purpose of having them as bi-monthly, or not bi-monthly, but you know, once they appear for 2 months every year. Let's see. However, they can appear in Soulforge at any time in a year, not just those 2 months. And he's dead already. Wow, that was a nice cascade. And we still was our turn as well. Do you think your guild will ever be back in bracket 1? I'm not sure. Yeah, it is kind of funny. We're all the way down in bracket 5 right now. However, the very first guild war that has ever happened in Gems of War, we made first place. We were the first guild ever to make first place in Guild Wars. But, yeah, I'm not sure if we're ever going to get back to bracket 1 due to, I'm not sure if we can rebuild a guild that has that many people that can do Guild Wars that well. Because it requires having most things maxed in the game. And while quite a few people in my guild are active, they're still at a point where they don't have a lot maxed. Or at least not enough to do Guild Wars with perfect scoring. Because Guild Wars in endgame is extremely dependent on how maxed you have everything. Because you need it for extra stats. And also you need it for some team synergies. It essentially requires almost every mythic in the game. as well as having very high underworld score and every other extra stat that you could possibly get. Is that worth casting? Yes. And I should be dead. Or no, he isn't. Nope. We need one more follow-up. Fail. There we go. But yeah, we're bracket 5 right now. We were bracket 5 last week, and we're staying in bracket 5 this week. Or next month, I should say. Okay, and dead. Final battle if we don't get Valraven Tower. At least until tomorrow. Oh, nope, another 2. There we go. Okay, what do we need here? Let's get Nimue. Mana. I'll take it off for purple into red. Gets Earth's Fury out of it. Now we can go Pokety Poke. Do we want a Pokety Poke? Yeah, let's get Valraven Tower out of the way just in case. For safety's sake. Don't need it. Oh, I could have taken the yellow to skull. Ah, now it's too late. Fail. Whoops. Should have taken yellow to skull. I didn't notice that until after I moved. Which is pretty much how they always go. At least it feels like it. Okay, alignment. Do we have it? Even if it's just a skull poke, I'll take it. Except we don't even have that, so no. Nope, still not even a skull poke. Skyla is not kill range either. Really, Skyla? You don't have enough to kill. And I can't even chance it off an instant kill because it won't even work on that troop. Since it has indestructible. That's unfortunate. We don't have alignment yet either. Okay, I'm just gonna have to poke it twice, really? Okay, here. I'll poke you. And then I'll Skyla you. And then we'll go and take our skulls. And then we win. He'll take skull, I'll take skull, and then we win. Oh, or unless that happens, never mind. I gotta be careful, you can actually win here. Especially with how much skulls is put onto the board. Because we don't have enrage on this team. However, there is a way to give us enrage. There's a blue-purple troop from Sea of Sorrows that gives enrage and submerge and a bunch of life on cast. The only problem with it is it's blue-purple, and that's the same color as the invasion troop. So it makes it a little bit clunkier to use. However, that's probably the easiest way to get enrage, other than using something hero-related. But then you might need to drop Earth's Fury if you end up doing it like that. But we'll go get a poke there. The HP is going to survive right there. Do I throw Earth's Fury at it? I might. No, we'll skull it, I guess. Bit overkill, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Oh, we don't have... Oh, yes, we do. Throw an Nimue down. Get all that. Skull, dead. Hello, Hungen. Welcome. Last month, the troop Black Bajorn was available for invasions. How often do these special event troops reappear in case needed later for Kingdom Power achievements? It should be about a month. However, the exact day can be somewhere from about 4 to 6 weeks. But generally speaking, it takes about 1 month for a troop to go from not in drop table to in drop table. I'm not sure what currently keeps track of when something is definitively back in drop table. I'm not sure where that resource is. I know there used to be resources for in the past, third-party resources that kept track of it. I'm not sure if there currently is any. You could just kind of assume it's in about 4 to 6 weeks. However, I'm not sure where the resource is that gives it guaranteed. If anyone does know, do let me know. I'm pretty sure it still exists somewheres. Just forget if anyone still maintains it. You can data mine it from the files, I believe. But most people obviously aren't going to do that just to go find that info. But generally speaking, it's 4 to 6 weeks. So, for example, the new legend that we got yesterday, or last week, I mean, that legend will not be available for another 4 to 6 weeks. But then after that 4 to 6 weeks, you'll be able to get in Glory Gem Guild and VIP chests. Yeah, we'll go throw the poke. Throw it on the one with skull reduction. Do you have Skyline alignment? No. Is it still worth casting? Yes. And that is why. Okay, final battle. We keep getting Valraven Towers. I don't mind. Can we get another one? Probably not. We've been getting pretty good Valraven Tower luck there. It's a matter of time before we don't get one. Because the more you get, the less chance you'll have of getting one. He's coded in a way to make sure that you don't just constantly keep getting them. It's coded in a way that you constantly don't keep getting them, but that you also still keep getting them in at least some kind of consistent interval. So generally, you're not going to get them back to back. And if you do, you're not going to get one for several battles. Do we have Skylaw alignment? No. Is it still worth casting? No. So let's take that for now. Not sure why he just left that for us. We'll get rid of this barrier. We'll take this for extra turn, and then hopefully a follow-up skull. We should. There you go. Don't even need to take it. It takes itself. Nice. Okay, and that's all for things. Sweet. Collect our current rewards. And we got an orb. And it is green. Also, we have a second orb, too. It should be in our mail. Then we'll grab all this. And what's in our other orb? A purple. Nice. 135 gem value right there. Basically like 15 gem keys. Very nice. Okay, let's go hand out code. Let's see. Code time. Code. Where is the code section? There it is. I think I used this one last night and just didn't mark it. Let me double check. Yeah. Okay, this one works. I marked them all. There you guys go. Here's the redeem code used on gemsofwar.com. It's the game code section. Your invite code can be found in the For Your Sayings menu. Our redeem code can be found right over there in chat. Just copy paste the random numbers and letters. And gives the same reward as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. If you want more codes, the developers will be streaming in an hour. Or it's probably just going to be community manager. So salty. Not sure what she's going over. But she'll be going over something. And probably announcing when next patch is coming out as well. By the end of this stream. At some point. Which is most likely tomorrow. Unless it's literally happening tonight. However, it would have been probably had a forum post by now. If it was going to happen tonight. Because it's a pretty small patch. So it's not going to take that long to go up. They could probably release it like any second now. Yeah, I don't see anything on it. But hopefully we'll get it tomorrow. There's a possibility it's next week. But there should be a pretty good chance that it's actually tomorrow. They seem to have a thing for doing it on Tuesdays for whatever reason. Which is an Australian Wednesday. Not sure why. Maybe because it's the middle of the work week. I'm not sure. But they just absolutely love doing patches on Tuesday nights. And they didn't do it during the Guild War week. Because I believe this patch does have some amount of troop balance that they haven't announced yet. And for that reason, they generally don't like doing it during Guild Wars. Because Guild Wars is the worst week to ever try doing rebalance. Because it makes it unfair for other people. Because you can do all of your Guild War battle on the very last day. So anyone who waited will either be at an advantage or a disadvantage, depending on if things were buffed or nerfed. So they try to avoid ever doing patches on Guild War week. The only times they really do is if there's almost no troop rebalance to do. Which means there's a good chance that they actually are rebalancing several troops that they haven't really made much mention of. They might not. But the fact that they would avoid it on a Guild War week is a sign that there might be. Plunder, Peril, or Skeleton Key. Generally, it's better to do Skeleton Key. Plunder and Peril was originally going to be very broken. But last minute, they changed its boost ratio from a 1x to a 2-to-1. Making it basically the same effectiveness as a Skeleton Key. If they would have made it a 1-to-1, it would have had a ridiculously good damage source. The only real big issue with it now is it does almost the exact same amount of damage as Skeleton Key, but without the benefit of extra turn. They really should have kept that at 1x boost ratio. It's probably going to be very broken at a 1x boost ratio, but at least it would have been usable. With how Plunder currently is, it's not really usable compared to Skeleton Key. Like 95% of teams would end up using Skeleton Key. The only time it is viable to use Plunder is if the enemy is using a gold farming team. Like if you're literally being attacked by a Skeleton Key team or something, is about the only time when Peril is better than Skeleton Key. And I would avoid using it, just because the extra turn gives a lot of value. Even with its lower damage, automatic extra turn on kill is pretty strong. I guess it's not automatic, but you know what I mean. Has instant kill on, it has extra turn on kill. I just realized this is not the right team to fight this battle, but it seems to be working, so there we go. All we need now is one Ruane. Or at this point, just take skulls, gosh. Fine, we'll kill with skulls. There we go. Okay, let me make sure for the final battle I switch to key or something. This is pretty slow to run for that final battle. But it worked. This is definitely meant for really low level content, stuff that you can one shot like that. But yeah, thank you, Decryl. As Decryl mentioned, definitely feel free to leave a like on the stream. Definitely helps out a lot. Helps with exposure on YouTube. You can definitely use it. Okay, let me make sure I switch my team. I'll switch to key or something. I just realized I'm still using Diabolist on them. I should probably switch it over to what's his name? I want to get level 100 Arc Magnus before next Guild War, ideally. So I should probably switch it over to Arc Magnus so we can start getting passive EXP for it. Then we're gonna get a good chunk of it in during the what's it called? The Vault event weekend, next weekend. Not this weekend, but next week's weekend. And he's dead. That'll double kill. And he's down. Okay, so that's all that. Let's go clear our dungeons real quick. Let's do it with 20% into magics. And PvP. Oh, that's not what I want. Dungeons. Also, I should probably go do the pet real quick. Might as well. But yeah, let me go change these back to Arc Magus, however you say that. We currently have it at level 71. I want to get it to 100. Let me change both of them to the right one. And there we go. And we're going to leave that at level 66 because it's funny. Okay, so we'll do that and switch the key team. And it should be good to go. Thank you, Zeddicus. Yeah, I've been feeling quite a bit better. I'm not sure what it was earlier, but I do feel better now. It's just weird depression that comes out of nowhere occasionally. And then just magically goes away for no reason. It comes for no reason, it goes away for no reason. Let's see, we'll take that for now. Grab the destroyer. Take our other thing over there. And he should be dead. And he's dead. Should you spend your guild chests to upgrade the new guardians, or should you still keep them for the new mythic days? Well, you can do both simultaneously, so you might as well save them for new mythics. You can simultaneously try getting new mythic while also get all the guardians. So just save them for when a new mythic comes around, and you can do both at once. Next mythic is in 2 weeks. Not this Friday, but, or sorry. Yeah, not this Friday, but next week's Friday. Next week's Friday is a new mythic. It's like a rogue daemon, I believe, which will have a really high true damage output. It might actually be one of the better true damage options in the entire game. If the boost ratio looks like how it's red, it looks like it's going to gain 10 additional true damage to 2 different enemies per purple on the board. Which means if there's something like 10 purple on the board, that means it does 200 additional damage. 100 to 2 different troops as true damage, which is easily enough to instant kill. It might be a Scorpius method as well for it. It might even be the new Scorpius, potentially. We're gonna have to see. But there is actually a good chance it can become Scorpius. The only issue with that is I feel like it's going to be ever so slightly short on damage. Let me actually double check that. How high does 12 Explore go? Let's see. Where's my Scorpius team? If it's over 100, I feel like it might not be able to. Yeah, it's not going to be able to. No, never mind. That's way too high. There's no way it can do 160. Well, then again, I don't know. Probably not. Because right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 purple has like a base damage of 30, and it's like 110 damage. Yeah, it wouldn't be enough. It's unfortunately not going to be able to replace Scorpius. It could if you were doing like Explore, like maybe 10. But the problem with that is the Nisha chance is substantially lower, same as the Anu chance. And you're also getting a bit less shards that way. But no, it doesn't look like it's replacing the Scorpius method. It almost looks like it's going to be a higher level of Skeleton Key. Because Skeleton Key can be ran at, I believe, 7 as the highest it can be ran at. It's like 6 or 7. I believe it's 7. However, the new Mythic coming in next month can run similar to Skeleton Key, but can run as high as about 9 or 10 for Explore. So there's a possibility it will be useful to some capacity, but it still will not be better than a Scorpius or Yali method. Hey, anyways. Oh yeah, we did all dungeons already, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Let me go do the pet before I forget. This timer is running out. Already set the key team. Already set the Diabolist too, but let's switch to Archmagus instead. And go from there. Hello, Outlander! Welcome. And hello, Chris Border, if I didn't already say hi. And Analyst, welcome, welcome. Yes, she potentially has more damage output than Tina. However, it's not as good as Tina for two things. Spell reduction and skull damage. Both of those two things the new Mythic will have lower than Tina. Is there going to be a way to get the new troop to 50% mana starts? Yes. The troop that came out last week, you can use to half mana starts the new Mythic. Because it's Rogue. And the only way to half mana start it, I believe, is going to be under Rogue. Also, this next Mythic is going to be the first Rogue Mythic in the game. There's currently 0. Which I actually never knew until until that 50% Rogue troop came out. That there is actually 0 Mythic Rogues in the game until next Mythic. But yeah, my Captain McCall has 50% Rogue bonus, which came out last week. The only problem with that is he's not in drop table again until like 3-4 weeks from now. So if you haven't already gotten him, you actually won't be able to get him when the new Mythic comes out, because he's not going to be in the drop table then. 100% he won't be in then. Also, whatever it's called, Winter Imp won't be in the drop table by then either. It'll be Winter Imp instead. I mean, it'll be Imp of Love instead, I mean. Winter Imp will no longer be in drop table. Winter Imp's basically the only relevant Imp in the game. The other 5 are essentially useless in the current state of the game. Other than for just completion purposes of owning them. What's the benefit of having hundreds of troops and not disenchanting? Paranoia of that they might eventually add a way to upgrade them. They said ages back that they would never add any way to upgrade troops any further. And then they ended up doing so after like a year or a year and a half into the game. I think it was more like a year. And I feel like a lot of people who played back then still have paranoia in that regard. And the other reason is just to have a high number there for fun. But now, technically, in the current state of the game, there is no point in keeping any troop of more than 4 copies of Mythic. So anything beyond that, you can just go click the automatic disenchant button, and it'll disenchant everything for you to give you souls. However, the value of disenchanting is pretty low. One of the other reasons I've kind of been holding out is not even necessarily so much for the fact that they could theoretically add a way to upgrade troops further with more copies, which at this point is likely never going to happen. But the other thing that can end up happening is disenchant value could go up Disenchanting is an extremely dated aspect of the game. The amount of souls you get from it hasn't been changed since day one of the game's release. Yet souls are about like 100 to 200 times more common than they were on day one of release. So disenchanting, as far as its value, is absurdly low to the current state of the game. And for that reason, I've also haven't been disenchanting them in case they eventually buff what you get from disenchanting. Because a mythic disenchants for 150 souls. That is absurdly low. I don't think I've ever seen a single free-to-play game where the highest rarity in the game disenchants for such a low amount. I'm still surprised they haven't added diamond value to disenchanting legends and mythics. I find that very, very surprising. Because they added a crafting resource, didn't even add it to the legends or mythics. Even if it was only 10%. Like if legends disenchanted for 80 and mythics disenchanted for 400 diamonds. Let's see, we'll take that over. Grab that. But right now they only disenchant for 100 souls and 150 souls, I believe it was. Or something like that. Three copies of the pet, nice. Which is all going to become pet food eventually. Poor bird. Poor innocent bird. Okay, and now we just go grind hero costs a little bit if we want to. Let's see, where do we want to do that at? We were doing the Leonis Empire method earlier. Oh, but we were doing that with the other thing. Let me just use Asian on tier 3 then. Or explore 3. Explore 3, switch to Rowan, and we'll farm here a little bit. Get at least another level on Archmagus, if nothing else. A level a day, we'll get it there in time. Wait, will it? Yeah, actually it would. If we do one level every day, we would pretty much have it maxed by next Guild War. Assuming we also do dailies with it. Because there's a good chance that the Guild War Purple Day is not the immediate first day of the Guild War week. And if it is, then we have 21 days. Or actually 22 days. And even if we do it one per day at that point, that'd bring us to 94. Which would pretty much be almost all the way there. But as long as we do at least one a day, we'll get it there. Which we can easily manage. One hero level this far only takes about half an hour. And even less where we're currently at level range. Like the ones in the 90s take about a half an hour. The ones at the where we're currently at about 70 takes about 15-20 minutes. Probably closer to 20 minutes, but we already got some farmed in it. Also, hello loading screen. Do you want to go? Hello? Has anyone still been having long loading screen issues? I've been noticing this thing being a thing all year. Like, I didn't really notice it while I was away because I was barely playing while I was away. But, I don't know. All this year, it seems like it's been having some longer loading screens than normal. Not sure what's up with that. Failed to receive data. Huh. And then it worked. Okay, I'll take that, Rowan. Oh yeah, tomorrow's Peer Faction is going to be interesting to see how that pans out. I never have ran Peer Faction for it yet, other than when we ran at 150, but that doesn't really count. That was super easy, obviously. Oh, yesterday's run, Pure Faction run, had you going crazy. Came with 13 health of winning, with 5 tier 7s, Urskea, PL 15, and Horde 100. Then AI took over and destroyed you. Yeah, they can occasionally just get some skulls, and bad things can happen. That can happen a lot in delves, just because of how much skull value they get compared to you. And just a single skull into a cascaded skull can just auto end an entire delve. And while that generally won't happen a lot, it only takes it happening once to completely ruin everything. Is my event video recorded yet? Yeah, it's been up for, it's been up all day. Unless it became unlisted magically for whatever reason. But no, it's been up literally all day. It's been up since, what, 9 a.m., 10 a.m. or something? Somewhere's around there. That's not what I want. Back to the Zacian. Yeah, it is up, right? Let me double check. It should be. I don't see why it wouldn't be. Unless I, like, magically made it unlisted somehow. So it made my stream unlisted, so I wouldn't be surprised. It doesn't do that to videos, though. Let me see. View my channel, click videos, and give our stream a like. And yeah, it has 1.4k views. And it was posted 11 hours ago. Which is, what is that? Like 9 a.m. or so. Which that's 10 a.m. I think I had to finish by 9, but between uploading and doing thumbnail and all that, it was more closer to 10. Oh yeah, there's two different bells now. There's the bell that does like some notifications and the bell that does all notifications. Generally, the all notifications one will notify you. There is a possibility that even that one doesn't. But they do have two different bells on YouTube now. They have off, slightly on, and completely on. And only the completely on one really works well. And even then, it sometimes still decides not to work. I don't know, I personally don't find like the AI getting better skulls than the player. I've always considered that to be pretty fair. A lot of people have mentioned that throughout the entire history of the game. Oh, hey, we gained a hero level. But honestly, I've never really seen it. The AI getting better value off of skulls. Or off of anything for that matter. They have tweaked how luck works in Gems of War quite a few times, though. But it's always in the player's favor. There's actually quite a few things that they ended up putting into the game because so many people were mentioning stuff like that. That actually makes it, or tries to make it, so that AI will never get luckier than the player. It's still possible they can get lucky moves, obviously. But they do have specific code in the game to try to prevent it. Thank you, Isabel. I still haven't been on the Discord too much, but I need to be. I just don't tend to socialize much, which is why I'm normally not on the Discord. At this rate, we might as well go for a whole nother level on this hero class. Should be able to. And then we'll probably call it a stream at that. Once we do get the other level. We shouldn't take that long. We're at 72. We already did a couple battles. It's probably about 20 minutes or so to get the other level. We don't have anything else we really need to go farm at the moment, unless we go on to go try doing Hall of Guardians without potions. Haha. That'd be annoying. It's possible. I'm not sure if I want to attempt it again, though. Just so annoying to attempt. Rather get some hero leveling going. Mountain Crusher as Arc for leveling. Aquaticus, the Possessed King. And the Mer Tank for the 2 times Trade Stone. Would that work on 1 trophies? I guess that would be okay. You just constantly keep repicking on 1 trophy battles. I feel like you'd want to go Leprechaun as a Possessed King, though. If you're going to go for a quick rush. Because Aquaticus can probably 2-hit them. So you get this Leprechaun. Mass feed into Mountain Crusher. Cast Mountain Crusher. Cast Aquaticus. Recast Mountain Crusher and Leprechaun. Recast Aquaticus. And then boom, there goes their team. But I feel like you'd get better value out of Leprechaun than Possessed King in that situation. But yeah, I guess you could do that for 1 trophies for 2 times the Trait Stones. However, keep in mind you're better off just doing Explore. Because Explore can win pretty consistently at about 15 to 20 seconds per battle for the full cycle. As well as giving higher rarity Trait Stones. And even though you wouldn't be getting 2 at once, you'd basically have to be winning PvP at a rate of 1 every 30 seconds or quicker consistently for it to be worth it with the 2 times troop, which generally is not going to be the case. Because between having to repick teams and occasionally getting those really annoying teams that might take longer, PvP does tend to overall take longer than that per battle. Oh, you're short on minor Trait Stones? I guess that would work for stocking up on minor Trait Stones then. One kind of weird thing about normal PvP and any location that isn't Explore is you actually have a higher chance of getting minor Trait Stones due to the fact that Explore has higher rarity Trait Stones. Those higher rarity Trait Stones obviously overlap the lower rarity ones, particularly the common ones, the common and rare ones. But yeah, I guess that would work then. However, if you're looking for common ones, the other pretty good method for it, although I guess technically with 2 times Trait Stones is actually quicker doing it in PvP. But the other method is Treasure Hunt. Spamming through Treasure Hunt is a great way of gaining minor Trait Stones. It doesn't give you a focused color, though nor does PvP. At least not anymore anyways. But a Treasure Hunt's pretty good for it. You can end up getting about 2 to 3 per minute or so. But that's less than how many you would get from PvP on 2 times. However, it's more than you would get on PvP on 1 times, though. Yeah, opening gold keys is also a great way. However, that costs gold. But you get gold from PvP. So you could just use the PvP gold onto gold keys and just do it that way. Same as Treasure Hunt method. You can use all your gold that you get from Treasure Hunt onto gold keys. But it's definitely better to do 2 times 1 trophy battles. Like 2 times getting 2 times the Trait Stones and doing 1 trophy battles on those given weeks in PvP in order to get minor Trait Stones than is to do Treasure Hunt. However, Treasure Hunt has a higher rate of minor Trait Stones when you're doing it on a when it's not a 2 times event. But on a 2 times event, it's definitely better to do PvP. I know Treasure Hunt, you'll stick with PvP, ha. That's not that bad. Like, you can get it pretty quick from Treasure Hunt. Like, if we go do it right now, let's just go do Treasure Hunt real quick. And we can see how long the Treasure Hunt is taking, right? Oh no. Oh yes, you can. You can still see a timer there. Though me checking the timer made it so we just wasted a bunch of time. But you can end up getting a pretty decent amount from this. And this gives a normal rate of Trait Stone. It doesn't give the increased rate like Explore does. So you're going to have a pretty good chance of getting minors from it. And you ideally would want to get an interval of 30. Because that would actually give you the highest rate of it. However, there's quite a few times where you're not going to be able to go out of your way to go get the 30. But if you are capable of doing so, that's the main thing you want to aim for. And okay, we did get the 30 already. So now we just need to take a bunch of moves. But yeah, you do ideally want to be hitting for 30 if you're trying for trade stones. That is particularly important with this method. Because you want to hit ideally an interval of 15 to maximize the amount of trade stones you actually end up accumulating from it. But of course we get 2 trade stones here. And we got 3 gems, and we got 2 miners. You can see it's pretty quick. That took like, what, 40 seconds? And we got 2 miner trade stones. Oddly enough, with the same color. But, yeah. And that's also the best rate of infinite gems in the game. Reaching about 50 to 70 per hour or so. Depending on if you use your resources for gold. Or if you use your gold keys for, if you use your gold for gold keys and your glory for glory keys, it comes out to about 70 per hour. But if you don't use those resources, it's closer to 50 to 60 gems per hour. But you also get a bunch of miner trade stones. Oh, you're on console? Oh yeah, it is a little bit slower on console. If you're restricted not to mouse or touchscreen, it can be a bit slower on console. Switch doesn't have that issue because it does have touchscreen compatibility, and you can do it just as quickly on touchscreen as you can with mouse. But yeah, if you're using controller only, it is very slow doing treasure hunt. It's really slow doing almost any battle, really, unless you can use Empower Quick Win. Empower Quick Win can bypass the slowness. But every single time on console, if you're using controller only, you have to manually move to the gem you want to take, which is a lot slower than touchscreen and mouse. Tips for a player restarting? What level were you prior? Because generally, if you're completely restarting, you probably have some working knowledge of the game already. In the current state of the game, I would say biggest priority is get your account rolling. Go and join a random guild the second you can get into one. And just kind of stay there for just a short duration. Just so you can claim seals and stuff like that. Just like any inactive, or some guild that has like a decent amount of people, but is casual enough that they won't kick you for any reason. So try joining a guild that you like that as immediately as you possibly can. Then just kind of stay there for a little while and focus on getting every single kingdom in the entire game completed, while also doing PvP to farm gold. And as you slowly do this, you'll farm gold off of PvP in order to go and get all the kingdoms unlocked, which cost for about 4,000 each. Or it costs like 500, and then it keeps going up by like 250 or something. But eventually reaches 4,000 each for several of them. And go unlock every single kingdom. That'll unlock you every banner. And also unlock you a bunch of various game modes, like dungeons and other dailies. And then from there, you're going to want to go and focus on getting every single kingdom to level 10. You focus first on getting them to about level 3 each. And then just farm the gold until you get them to level 10. While simultaneously doing PvP for when you need gold, doing treasure hunt for when you need gold and you feel like you're getting out-leveled some, and doing all the quest lines in the game. And in combination, this will allow you to 5-star every kingdom, and it'll allow you to kind of get a basis for stats, because getting 5-star all kingdom, or sorry, getting level 10 all kingdom is a really big first priority. The reason why you actually want to do every single kingdom's quest line, aside from getting a few rewards from it, it is actually required in the current state of the game to have done every single quest line in order to even get their first star. And the thing that you want to do after you get level 10 all kingdoms is get 5-star all kingdoms. So it's good to already have all the quest lines done, since that's one less step you'll have to do towards it. Plus it unlocks a bunch of various things. And that's pretty much most of the full progression when first starting out. And of course you want to make sure you do dailies and weeklies. Weekly guild events you don't really touch much because it'll be a while before you can get into a good guild. Like the earliest you can try getting into a good guild is level 10 all kingdoms. And even then you might not be able to get into one. But you don't really worry about guild events too much initially. The main things you should worry about is getting 2,000 seals every single week, getting 1,900 PvP rating for the max PvP reward every week, doing daily dungeons, doing daily adventure board, doing daily delves, even if you just have to farm a level 20 delve over and over again. Just do it on like City of Thieves, which is the better location, and stuff like that. Because that helps build up resources over time with really minimal time. Yeah, maps are really good value, especially if you're planning on playing 100% free-to-play. Maps are actually how you're going to go and accumulate Dragon Armor and Celestial Armor. It is pretty important to get those as quickly as possible. One interesting thing about Treasure Hunt is prior to owning armor or any bonuses whatsoever, it is actually better value to do Treasure Hunt than it is to do PvP in early game. Just because PvP not only gives a lot less gold in early game, but you also don't have percent bonuses because you don't have the armors yet unless you bought Death Knight. However, once you finally have armors, Treasure Hunt starts to become quite a bit less valuable. Unless you just really need gems for something. Like if you want to go do a 50 bulk of gem keys, but you're a little short on gems. And you should only ever do those in 50 bulks, ideally. Definitely never smaller than 10 bulks. At 10 bulk, they're 9.5 gems each. At 50 bulks, they're 9 gems each. And individually, they're 10 gems each, which you never want to do it that way. That's why whenever I break down value for gem keys, I always mention them as 9 gems. It's also why I mentioned that a purple orb is worth 135 gems. Because it's worth about 15 gem keys, and 15 gem keys is 135 gems. Yeah, in early game, you gain most of your resources from a combination of arena, treasure hunt, and PvP. It's really weird, because at no other point in the game, other than early game and like the earlier part of mid game, is that combination the meta for farming. Because you eventually completely drop arena, and you generally, at least in the current state of the game, tend to shift more towards explore than PvP over time. However, when you're earlier on in the game with not enough stats to even run explore, it's actually quicker to run PvP for gold. Plus, you'd lack the things that can actually kill the higher gold earning explorers in early game. Because the lower ones you could get pretty easily. Like this team I'm using right now, you could probably get within your first month of playing. Or not even probably, you easily could if you've already played the game some prior and had a plan for it. Oh, also that reminds me. When you're first making an account, highly advised to go to Stormheim as early as you possibly can and get the quest completed there. Because you need Titan hero class. You can literally just use that as your only hero class for the entirety of the account and you'll be perfectly fine. If you don't feel like leveling a bunch of different things. If you were to pick any one hero class, Titan's the way to go, always. And unless they're making some kind of drastic change to hero class in the next couple months, which they might be, it's going to be true for a while, unless they do. Because Titan in the current state of game is the best overall hero class, and based on every hero class that we can see, Monk looks like it's going to be decent. However, it doesn't look like it's going to be better than Titan as far as versatility is concerned. There's definitely going to be instances it's better than Titan, but overall I'd still probably say Titan's the better option. Even though Monk is going to be insanely good when it comes out. It's probably going to be second best hero class in game, or third best. The Monk hero class that's coming soon. Of course, every hero class has its purpose, or most of them do. Like Frost Mage will always have some kind of viability. Same as mech hero classes for mech 50% start and stuff like that. But it looks like the top two are most likely going to be Titan and Monk forever, unless they make some kind of change to hero classes again soon. And of course, Monk hero class doesn't exist yet. It will in 2 months. Or 2 hero class events. I believe the next one's mid-February and the other one's sometime in March. Like mid-March or later part of March. Why is Monk a good hero class? It has the highest amount of immunities in the entire game. It has 9 immunities with cleanse, or 10 immunities without cleanse. But normally you'd run 9 immunities with cleanse. So not only does it cleanse every extra turn, it has immune to 9 different things. Things like stun, death mark, devour, mana drain, mana burn, and a few other ones that I forget offhand. It has it gains 3 mana every extra turn. It has barrier every brown. It has a +1 mana that you can use for brown and another color. Or enchant every time you take a green, I believe. It has extra life off its trees. And it has snap freeze, so you can end up freezing them on the very first turn as well. What else does it have that's beneficial? That's most of the things. It just has a lot of immunities. The biggest issue that it has is it doesn't have a natural half mana start. That's the biggest thing holding it back. That, and it does not have explosion on extra turn. Actually, it has relatively bad second to last traits for a hero class that's that good. Because all it has is a bunch of links and the other one's the enchant, I believe, on green. Which isn't necessarily bad, it's just super situational. Also, he's got 1,000 glory from that gnome. I was just double checking the replay there. The playback on stream. But nice, 1,000 glory. I'll take it. Great to see. Oh yeah, did we ever gain that second hero class? I wasn't even paying attention. I believe the answer is no. We can kind of tell by how much more XP we need. If it's like halfway there or a little bit further than that, then we definitely haven't gotten the level yet. Yep, we haven't gotten it. We need 22 more XP. Then we'll probably end out the stream. So if anyone still has any other questions, let me know. That's probably the last thing I want to get done this stream. Next video, if no one has done it already, show all the counters to the current metas in PvP. First, you would need to identify what all the metas are in PvP. I'm not even sure because honestly, I don't play PvP a lot. I know what some of them are, like Yagwe Queen of Tanya team, which is hard countered by spell reduction, also by stunning them, and freeze. So a couple things. Divinish Bala Quillen combo, which is hard countered by denying yellow and freeze. Also, freeze hard counters almost everything I'm going to mention. Infinite Goblin teams are hard countered extremely by freeze, to the point that they don't even work anymore once they're frozen. What other things are pretty meta right now? I know those three. What else is super broken? Orb Weaver can be countered by stun and AoE stun, and then just make sure it doesn't bless. But you can stun it and then rope dart it to first or some similar combo, because that will get rid of its stealthy as well. Other things, Lust can be hard countered with stun. You can just use an Obsidious stun to get it killed. It's kind of weird. I'm mentioning Obsidious for like half of these teams. I personally don't use Obsidious much. However, it does hard counter a lot of things that's pretty meta right now in PvP. It's just PvP isn't that important of an area. But even Guild Wars, I feel like I don't use it as much. Zugaf teams? Easiest way to Zugaf counter is mana drain. Either off of Sloth, Famine. Sloth has the lowest one at 10 for full AoE. The only problem is it drains your own team as well. I don't know what else works under that category. I guess a Cockatrice works pretty good. It's 10 mana cost, has +1 mana into itself, and it can create a bunch of brown for your team. Also, creating a bunch of brown against a Scorpius generally isn't that dangerous, because not against Scorpius, against a Zugaf, I mean. Creating brown against a Zugaf isn't that dangerous, because he doesn't actually use brown. So even if you accidentally miss with your Cockatrice from draining the Zugaf, it's not going to backfire generally. It probably will feed their Mountain Crusher, assuming they're using one. But it won't feed the Zugaf directly, at least. It'll feed it indirectly, just not directly. If it misses. Oh, hopefully we get another 1,000 glory from that guy. Is a Titan team of Mang, Skyla, Nimue, and Narita good for the invasion event? Yes, except you should use Skyla all the way in the back. Skyla's instant kill will not work in invasions because they all have indestructible. So you want to have Skyla all the way in the last slot. You're only using Skyla for a final trait. You're not using her to actually cast. You should basically never be casting her. Unless you just need to waste your turn to pass your turn in case the board is in a bad situation. Where the next turn would be bad for you if you took it. But, yeah, Skyla should be in the back. But the rest of your team, yes, that's basically what you run. Oh, what game was Key Lime doing? I know he just finished his 24-hour stream. I believe he did that on Saturday. Actually, it was 26-hour, I think, because he went a little bit longer. Did he even get the event video out? He's being as late as me for once. Last I checked, he'd even have the Monday event video done. I feel like lately he's been getting it done before me, like, every single time. Mostly because I've been really late with it lately. But, I'm pretty sure he didn't even have it up when I started stream. Let's see. Nope, he doesn't even have it up now. Weird. Maybe he's working or something. Oh, Jackbox. Yeah, I played Jackbox some with friends. I don't hate it. But it's... I don't know, I feel kind of neutral towards it. I tend to mostly just play games that are based around skill and strategy. Games that are more social, I tend to not really care for as much. Like, it's funny because the answers are so filthy. I can only imagine. I've played it with some friends before, and yeah, they have interesting answers, to say the least. Like, it definitely gets 18 plus very quick. Do Explorer levels have different arcane drop rates? No. To my current understanding, metals do, and we have the data on that. But from what I last recall, the trait stone drop rate for every Explorer, from Explorer 1 to Explorer 12, is actually the exact same drop rate. The only difference is the guarantee arcane that you get for doing the mythic battle is obviously more common when you do it on higher difficulty. And the reason for this is you're getting more shards. So more shards allows you to cycle the battle for the guarantee arcane a bit quicker. However, no, they all have the exact same drop rate. Explorer 1 has the same drop rate for arcanes each battle than that of Explorer 12. I am like 95% sure and that is still the case. I'm not sure if anyone has data mined that to double check recently. But last I recall, every single Explorer has the same drop rate for trait stones. They have different drop rates for tokens, but the same for trait stones. Hey, there's our level. Nice. And since we were talking about the guarantee arcane, let me go get the guarantee arcane real quick, which we get whenever we do the mythic battle. And that you get at a lower rate from lower Explorer. But it's not because the trait stone rate is lower, it's just because the shard rate is lower. Hey, another pet. I'm not going to do that now, though. Because if I do, we'll cut into Salty Stream. She'll be starting in 5 minutes, assuming she starts on time. Oh, we only got 7. Oh, well. We'll end it there. Not too big a deal. If nothing else, that means we can go do it on a 12 instead. What are pets useful for? They just give passive bonuses. And they look cute on your shoulder. But their whole purpose is just to give really small passive bonuses. Some of them are more useful than others. For example, elemental bonus is pretty good. Whenever you use 2, 3, or 4 elementals on your team. Or sorry, 3 or 4 elementals on your team. You end up gaining a bonus. The way that these bonuses work is kingdom bonuses are for 2, 3, or 4 on your team. Troop bonuses of typing are for 3 and 4 on your team. And pure color is for whenever you have all 4 of them on your team. And there are some that work regardless. For example, Lucky ends up giving a small EXP bonus whenever you have it, starting at 1%, going all the way to 5%. And this is a permanent bonus, and you don't need to have it equipped or anything. This is a permanent bonus that you always have. So once you have it maxed, you just always have 5% extra EXP for every battle you ever do. And that applies to every battle you ever do. So some of them have a effect that's better than others, like that. Some of them are more useful for like Guild War days, like these give a bonus to whenever you use pure color. So this, whenever we use pure brown, we gain more stats for the pure brown bonus. And there's small things like that. And all these pets are always active, and you don't need to specifically have them equipped. They're just cosmetic for whatever one you have equipped. But the bonuses are pretty small. But it's mostly because they're all always active at the same time, which is why they kind of have to be small. And there's also a bunch of mastery ones. These are always also active. And early on in the game, these are actually somewhat decent because they can increase your mana search chance quite a bit more than they do later in the game by having extra mastery. Obviously, later in the game, that has such a diminishing return. Everything beyond like 100, 150 mana mastery is pretty bad. Like, it just keeps getting increasingly worse return beyond that. But, yeah, pets help a little bit, though they have really small impact. But they still add up. Are you going to have a pet naming stream? Oh, yeah, haha. We probably should go name all of our pets eventually. We'll consider it. I'm not sure when we'll get around to that. But I did say that we probably will go name all of our pets eventually in a stream. I'm not sure when we'll do that, but we definitely will do it. But anyways, guys, I'm going to be heading out for now. Let me go get a link for Salty stream if any of you want to go catch it. She'll probably have some redeem codes. Also, feel free to redeem the redeem codes for me as well. Someone has been recently. Not sure who it is, but thank you. But let me go check Twitch and go get you guys the link to the thing. And assuming she starts on time, should be about 3 minutes. Otherwise, it'll be like 5 to 10 minutes. But there you guys go. There's the Salty stream. I'm not sure what she's going over. However, she might announce when next patch comes out, even though it's a pretty small patch. But we might get the definitive date as to when it releases today. Which is probably the biggest thing that will happen that stream. Probably later in the stream, if it even happens at all. But, yeah, I'm not sure what they're going over. But go check it out. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for stopping by. Leave a like on this stream. It definitely helps out a lot. We'll be back here on YouTube, hour and a half prior to now tomorrow, as we are every single day, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, oh, actually, yeah, we'll still do it normal time. And we're going to be doing a pretty long stream that night as well. Because I'm going to be doing Pure Faction 500 tomorrow night. So we're going to be streaming for a couple hours, so expect a longer stream. Hopefully we get the patch as well. So that means we can farm both of them at the same time and have a really big stream. A 4.75 stream quick overview, while then farming delves like crazy for like multiple hours. Obviously 4.75 patch is pretty small, but I'm curious what kind of troop rebalance they might have, if any at all. Because it seems like they might have it, given that they avoided doing the patch on the Guild War week. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you later. Thank you so much for stopping by, and hope you all have a wonderful week. Goodbye, everyone.